Okay, hello and welcome to today's episode. My name is Tom Rolley for System.io. We're continuing into a conversation that I began yesterday, and we're going to look at a particular problem that you might recognize, and it is the statement title of this presentation, and that is, it is quicker to do it myself. Now, yesterday we looked at the inbuilt trap of business, that as you begin to become successful, there's more work to be done in the business, and that work has to be done by somebody. Now, once you go past your capacity for work, which might be 40, 50, perhaps 60 hours a week, and let's say that there's 80 hours a week of work, then you bring on team. Now, this goes pretty well for a while, particularly while there's smaller numbers. You can have meetings, you know what each others are doing, and then it becomes its own problem that as you get bigger and you hit 5, 6, 7 team members, it becomes harder for everybody to know what's going on, and you end up having to tell everybody what to do. So that is why at that stage of business is just very hard. Like, you now have no time, because every time that somebody in your team needs to know what to do, they come to you. They ask you what to do. So you not only set the direction, you're like, hey, we're going this way. This is what you've got to do. But then they come to you to ask you how to do that. So not only are you setting the direction, you're also the source of how, and you are the troubleshooter. Now, this basically means constant interruptions, that your entire day is spent managing your people, sorting out their problems, troubleshooting their problems, helping them out. And this means there's no time for you. Your work isn't getting done. Now, you can either choose two things here. One is that you just don't do it. You don't do your work, and you're just like, you know what? All of my time is going to go into managing my team, and that leadership part, that vision part, that entrepreneur part, look, we're just going to have to let that die. So that's one option. The problem is that longer term, you know, like you're sailing a ship without a captain. The captain's down in the engine, sorting out the engine problem, and then they're running into the kitchen to help the dining guys, and then the lifeboat check hasn't been done, but there's no one in the captain's bridge directing where to go. So in the short term, you might get away with this, but longer term, this is expensive. This will cost you. Your second option is to begin a second workday, and that as your team finish up at 5 p.m., you then perhaps have another cup of coffee or do some exercise, find a second wind, and you work from 5:30 or 6 through till 10 p.m. And you may well recognize this. And suddenly your days are beginning earlier and earlier, finishing later and later. And there is another cost. Even though the business is being run, there is not only the work getting done, but also it actually has a captain at the ship, that there is a cost to this to you, that you have another part of your life. Perhaps you have a family and your kids are not seeing you. You're getting home after they've gone to bed. Your wife or your husband's like, dude, where are you? Why are you gone so much? When are you going to put some time into the family? This is a significant problem. This is a significant problem. So there are really your two choices. So as you expand your team, you become the source of what to do, how to do it, to troubleshoot it. Your team's always coming to you. And there's actually yet another problem that comes from this. So while your team is waiting to ask you, guess what they're not doing? They're not working. So they're just sitting there idle, getting paid to not do anything. So this is a very stressful situation. So payroll comes around, you're like, great, wow, I'm paying a lot of people to do a lot of stuff. But in actual fact, because you are the source of all knowledge in your business, you're the one that tells people what to do, how to do it, troubleshoot it, you're managing your people, that when you are unavailable, when you possibly have a day off and just collapse in a heap from stress, that means that you now have a bunch of people that you're paying to be idle. This is not a good situation. This does not mean business efficiency. This means problems. So why is this all important? Well, on top of this, you now need to work out, first of all, what the problem is. Like, why, how did this happen? Business is going well, business is successful, you're selling well, you're fulfilling, and yet your life has become a nightmare as an entrepreneur. So you need to work out what's going on. Like, what's the actual problem here? Why are you experiencing this? You're meant to be the leader, the entrepreneur, the business owner. You're driving the ship, but all of your time is being consumed. So is that the problem? Maybe, but perhaps there's a problem why that is happening. You need to get to that. You need to work out why that is. Why don't your team know what to do? And then if you can get to that problem, then you can start to work on the solution. Okay, how would you get them to know what to do? How would you get them to be able to do their work without coming to you? That they actually are relatively self-sufficient, or they're coming to you with options for solutions, or things that they've identified aren't working. That the level of problems that you are solving is not how to do basic shit, but actually solve problems that make a difference in your business. You work those ones out, and now you can begin to scale again. You can begin to grow effectively. You can have a team that is bigger than 7 that actually works. And if you don't, then guess what happens? You go to that thought. It's quicker for me to do it myself. And why is that? Because you know what to do. You can do it yourself. It gets done, but you can never scale. So there's a heavy price to pay as an entrepreneur if you can't work out how to get your team to do things in your business without you telling them what to do. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a common problem. This is an important problem for you to solve. If you want some help, head over to systemio.dev. Go put in your name, put in your email address there, and go through the training that I put together. Look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's episodes. We continue this exploration of the problems not having systems and processes in place in your business. I'll see you then.